Hi everybody, welcome to the Dr. Monique May Show. I am your host, Dr. Monique May, board certified family physician, home cook, kitchen gadget junkie who you know as a physician in the kitchen. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. As you may know, this is not my regularly scheduled program time, but as I posted last night, my son had an impromptu social event, so I am now making up my time. So be sure before we get started, I just want to remember to ask everyone to share this post and like it if you like it. And so tonight is back to school part 2. Last week we talked about 5 gadgets or appliances rather that help make meal prep easier. And that was the multi-pot, which also has a pressure cooker option amongst its other features. We talked about a food processor, toaster oven, air fryer, and I'm blanking on the last one. Oh, slow cooker. So tonight we're going to revisit one of those when I make a pesto later on. But first I'm going to talk about my shiny new mandolin. I have talked about it before and I promised that I would show you what I've made with it. So tonight I am going to use it to make some dried apple slices. So just a word or two about a mandolin. Now that I have it, I don't know how I've lived my life without it. And just to be honest with you, I've been afraid of them. If you know, or if you remember mandolins from in the past, they had a lot of different blades, a lot of different parts and pieces. And the fear of cutting myself was really more than I wanted to deal with. So I just shied away from them. But now I have one of the more modern, newer ones that literally just has one blade. So it's very super duper sharp. Man, a mandolin is nothing to play with, nothing to take lightly, but there's a straight edge and then there is a serrated edge for if you want to do, so hold that so you can see. So if you want to do like crinkle cut fries or so forth. So all you do is just slide that in on the side here. And then the rest of the work is done by dialing in your thickness. So it has numbers here on the edge where you can dial in how thick you want your slices. And then also the other blades that were previously separate are kind of built in. And when you adjust it, now you can see those kind of look like shark's teeth, that extra, those rows, if you can see those blades that are sticking up, that allows you to make like French fries or julienne strips. So tonight I'm going to use this to make dried apple rings. And you can use any kind of apples for this because when you dry or dehydrate fruit, it becomes even sweeter. So you can even use Granny Smith apples, which are a little tart, but when you do them this way, they actually become a little sweeter. So before I'm ready to make into rings, I am going to use an apple corer, which is my other new favorite gadget. And it's just what it says. It cores an apple for you. I've had the other ones where it slices the apple and cores it for you, but then it makes slices instead of rings, which you can dehydrate as well, but you just don't get the look of a ring. So this is super easy. You just push it down into the core, twist, and pull out. And there's the core. And then, now you see, I have a nice cored apple. And I don't peel my apples because there's actually nutrients in the skin of the apple. They've actually done studies where they've compared an apple with and without the skin or the peel, and the nutrients were higher in the apples that were not peeled. So I just leave the skin on, just make sure they're nice and clean. If you can, do organic, but either way, just be sure you wash them. And then I'm going to just adjust my blade for the apple rings. I'm going to do about a 1/4 inch thickness. And then the other safety feature here, or the main safety feature, is this guard. So this allows you to hold the food in place as well as, most importantly, protect your knuckles and your fingers. So you just place it on the blade. It has a spring action, so you see that it can adjust. And you just press down on it and start slicing. Hey Shavana, Charisma, thank you ladies for joining. And you can go fast. And it just collects underneath. And now, those are my apple rings. Pretty neat. So I'm just gonna put them in a bowl. And if I do another one here real quick. If I release my cord, there we go. And then again, I'm just gonna put this in, push down, and turn. Oops, didn't come out that time. We'll just push it out. So there it is. And then real quick, I'm gonna slice this one. So I usually do about 3 or 4. If I buy a bag of apples, I'll just do a bag. When we went to Dubai recently, I made some and took them with me, and so we had a healthy snack while we were waiting in the airport. So here's some more, and this apple actually, ooh, that's not an apple I want to use. I'm not sure what's going on there, so let's do one more. See if we get a good apple this time. It looks fine on the outside, but hopefully this one will be better. All right, that one's better. Okay, so I'm just gonna put these in here, and you can put these in a bath of mixture of lemon juice and water if you want to prevent the apples from browning. As you know, apples will turn brown if they've been exposed to the air too long, that oxidation process. So the lemon juice helps to prevent that. But I don't really care if these brown, and they're going to go straight into the dehydrator, so they're not going to be exposed that long. But because I'm coating them with a little bit of cinnamon and brown sugar, they're going to be a little brown anyway, so I'm going to skip that step. So this is about a teaspoon of cinnamon that I actually got from Dubai, along with about a half a teaspoon of ginger, which I also got from over there, just to give it a little spice. And then just a little bit of light brown sugar. I'm using light brown sugar instead of dark brown sugar because dark brown sugar has a higher molasses content, and it can give you a little bit of that taste versus a light brown sugar, which tends to be a little more neutral. And then I'm just going to toss this to coat my apples. So just rub it on there. It smells really good, that cinnamon. And this is kind of good for fall, like as we're getting into fall season, because this is one of those desserts or snacks that makes me think of cooler temperatures, but of course you can eat them whenever. And then I'm just gonna put them on my dehydrator tray. And you don't want them overlapping. You want them all to kind of have their own space. And then I'm gonna put this in the dehydrator. And then anywhere from about 6 to 10 hours, really just depends on the consistency. If you want them on the chewier side, you can do it shorter. If you want them a little more crispy, do it on the longer side. And so I'm gonna put these in. This takes 6 to 10 hours. So I will post a picture of a previous batch that I've done. I've posted it before, but I'll post it again after the live feed, so you can just see what they look like when they're done. The other thing that I've used to make my, or that I've used my dehydrator for and my mandoline are my sweet potato fries, or excuse me, sweet potato chips. So I've been playing with this, and I'm getting close to perfection here. And where's my hands? The key trick is to make sure that you have a large enough sweet potato. So you want them kind of big to begin with, because of course with the dehydration they shrink. So those long skinny ones don't work as well for this. So I've just been playing around with them, but what I love is that crunch. So I'm working on it. So the more I experiment, I'm going to be using other vegetables. I'm going to actually try some beets, which I've not been a big fan of, but Again, with the dehydration, they tend to get a little sweeter, so maybe they'll be better tasting. And also some Yukon Gold potatoes and some purple potatoes as well. So look for pictures of that coming in the coming weeks. So that's it. That's my mandoline, my apple corer, and then I'm finishing it off in the the dehydrator, which is actually part of the air fryer. That's a feature on the air fryer that we talked about last week. So I'm just gonna wrap up with making a pesto, which I've talked about pesto before. Pesto is one of my favorite things to make. It's super easy if you've got a good food processor. Hey Tara, thanks for joining. So I'm gonna make a pesto because pestos are so flexible and so versatile, because you can use them as a sandwich spread, as a condiment. You can use them on a piece of fish to give flavor, and you can even just make pasta one night. Just toss pasta with it, and it really gives you something different from just spaghetti sauce. So to make this food processor from last week we talked about, and the thing I really like about this is you just really toss everything in there and the food processor just does the work. So I am making a sun-dried tomato basil pesto. The basic classic pesto is basil leaves, olive oil, little salt and pepper, garlic, and Parmesan cheese. But I made some sun-dried tomatoes, yes, in the dehydrator. Funny story, I was at my mom's house and she had some tomatoes that were going bad, some plum tomatoes that were going bad. Air fryer, Charisma, I have the Oven Elite is what it's called. And so my mom, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It does like 1,000 different things. So it's a great investment. So I was at my mom's house and she had some plum tomatoes that were going bad and she was going to throw them away. And I was like, no, put them in your air fryer. Now, I told y'all last week that my dad bought the air fryer for me. Well, what I didn't tell you was he got my mom one too. So he really gets the prize for husband and father of the year. So we each have an air fryer, which she has not been using as much because she already had one from before. And then he also got her the multi-pot. So I haven't bought one yet, but I think I might try to borrow hers. So while I was over there, I made these sun-dried tomatoes in her air fryer, in her dehydrator. So we're going to use these and along with some basil and make a pesto. So this is about maybe half a cup of sun-dried tomatoes and about a cup. I'm not making a large amount. So this is about a cup of basil, and I'm going to use garlic. I love garlic in mine, so you would, again, anything you make is going to be to your taste. What I'm using right now, if you can see, is this handy little garlic. What it does is it gets rid of the garlic skin for you. So I'm going to throw in about 3 garlic cloves because I like garlic. If you don't like the bite of garlic, some people don't like that as much, you could just saute it in some olive oil for a few minutes just to get the edge off, and then use your sauteed garlic cloves. But I like garlic, so I'm just gonna throw it in here. There we go. And then also I'm gonna use about a 1/4 cup of walnuts. If you're allergic to nuts, you can, hey Patricia, hey Cleveland, thank you ladies for watching. If you're allergic to nuts, you can use sunflower seeds. Sunflower seeds are great for they have the B vitamins, which are good for your nervous system, including your brain. They also have the good kind of fats that are good for your cholesterol. And they also have minerals and vitamins that are good for your immune system. So if you can't tolerate nuts, but you still want that kind of grittiness that nuts give to a pesto, just do sunflower seeds, or even probably pumpkin seeds or anything else out there. Just have to tweak it to your taste. So walnuts, I'm gonna put a little Parmesan cheese in here and put the lid on. And the processor is gonna do all the work. So I'm gonna pulse this because I don't want it to go too fast. And then after I've done that, I'm gonna start to drizzle in my olive oil with it running. basil smells so good. Let me just grab a spatula and wipe down my bowl so everything gets in there. It smells so good. I love basil. It's one of my favorite herbs. Process this down. If you like it chunkier, you don't have to process it as much. If you want a little more smooth, just add more olive oil. So you'll just learn how to adjust the texture and flavor based on what you like. And I am going to put a little bit of black pepper in there. I've made an arugula pesto. I made the mistake of adding black pepper, which you don't want to do with arugula because it has its own little peppery taste. A little bit of salt. I don't like to add too much salt because I do have high blood pressure, so I always want to be mindful of salt content. But salt is good to help kind of make this other flavors kind of come together, but I don't add that much to it. So this is a chunkier one because of the sun-dried tomatoes, but I'm going to taste it. It smells so good. Oh my goodness, it's really good. So I can taste a little bit of the kick from the garlic, but the sun-dried tomato kind of balances that out along with the olive oil. And this is really, really good. I'm gonna take this off so you can see what it looks like. Another sharp blade you want to be careful with, but there's my chunky pesto. So this is going to go well on, like I said, I can use it as a condiment on a sandwich. I can top it a salad with it. I can marinate some fish in it, chicken, whatever. Sky's the limit. So I just wanted to kind of jump on and share some cool gadgets that I enjoy using in the kitchen, and hopefully you will find helpful as you are working to prepare those delicious meals at your house. So thank you so much for watching. This has been the Dr. Monique May Show with Dr. Monique May, physician in the kitchen, kitchen gadget junkie. Be sure to follow me on all social media platforms at Dr. Monique May. That's DrMoniqueMay, just like the month. Again, remember to share this with your friends and tune in next week. See what I'm working on in the lab. Good night.